January 10th, 1776. I'm sitting in a Philadelphia print shop watching the final copies of my Common Sense pamphlet roll off the press, and I'm low-key nervous. I called King George a royal brute and said that his monarchy is total BS. In 2 months, this thing will sell more copies than any publication in American history, but right now, I'm just hoping I don't get hanged for it. My name is Thomas Paine, and this is the AP US History My Story podcast. So here's the thing about America in early 1776. Most colonists were still trying to make things work with Britain. They were mad about taxes and representation, sure, but they weren't ready to completely break up with King George. I'd been in America for exactly 2 years, and I could see what these people couldn't, that reconciliation was never gonna happen. The king wasn't your disappointed dad who would eventually come around. He was an entitled tyrant who saw us as property, not people. But here's the problem with convincing people to change. Most of the arguments were written by educated elites for other educated elites. It was all fancy Latin phrases and complex legal jargon that regular people couldn't understand or relate to, kind of like your AP history textbook. So I decided to write something different. Common Sense was going to be written in plain English that any farmer, shopkeeper, or mechanic could understand. No college degree required. If you're going to ask people to risk their lives for independence, you better explain why in a language they actually speak. The main argument was simple. Kings are not appointed by God. They're just regular people who convinced everyone else they're special. Monarchy is a scam that puts one family in charge of millions of people for no logical reason. And King George had proven he was a royal brute who would never treat Americans as equals. But the part that really got people fired up was when I explained the economic benefits of independence. Britain was forcing Americans to buy expensive British goods and only sell their products through British merchants. Independence meant free trade with the whole world, which meant more money for everyone. Within 3 months, Common Sense sold 60,000 copies. By the end of 1776, it was 120,000 copies. That's one copy for every 20 people in America. No book, pamphlet, or publication had ever spread that fast. It was the colonial equivalent of going viral, kind of like this post will, if you wouldn't mind passing it around. George Washington said Common Sense helped him convince his soldiers to keep fighting. John Adams said that without my pamphlet, the Declaration of Independence might never have happened. Sam Adams had been organizing resistance for years, and my writing helped bring it all together. Common Sense started a conversation that led to the Declaration of Independence 6 months later. I proved that complex ideas could be explained in simple language and that regular people were smart enough to make their own decisions. Revolutionary realness, no cap. Like, follow, and share the AP US History My Story podcast because these stories hit different when you hear the original voices that shaped our country.